Welcome everybody. This is the DVMUG Zoom meeting for Tuesday, December 29th. And we will start with a little Q&A. So I'll stop sharing the keynote. Let me bail out of the keynote here. How do I get out of the keynote? Okay, I'll bail out of the keynote. Save that. We'll start with the two. Camille, you'll be first. So let me get the question up here. There's Camille's question. Can you suggest a good and powerful mouse for the desktop iOS 14? One that has left and right clicks. Anybody see any contradiction with that? What is, the Mac is not iOS 14. iOS 14 is for your iPhone and iPad.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's the desktop I want it for.
So what mouse do you have now?
I've got this little one here, and it keeps
Okay.
running out of juice now.
You're also stepping on them.
Any Mac mouse can do a right click. You just set it up in the system preferences. It's
I
built in.
did, but it doesn't seem to do anything much good. It's just in the way.
Take it out.
I keep getting asked by other people, do you have a mouse that it has a right and left click to it? And I'm thinking of the ones that go along the side here that I've seen
Well,
for other.
I got it here, Gene.
Any
So-
mouse you buy, other than Apple, will have usually a physically two clickers, right and left for Windows. They'll all
Yeah.
work. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of what feels good to you in your hand.
And what
You
does
have
that one do? The janitor is.
Hold on to something.
Like this one. It's I believe it's a TechNet. And it has right and left click and it has the scroll bar. Can you
Oh,
see that?
I
can't.
do. Yeah. What is it called? Tech what?
I think it's called TechNet. Hang on a second.
The problem is, okay, do you want a wired mouse or a wireless mouse?
Wired.
Wired is more
wireless.
reliable and cheaper.
It's unreliable,
No,
did you say?
one with a wire always works. Wireless mouse, if it's not an Apple mouse, then you'll have to usually have a little Bluetooth, some kind of a dongle or something. So that's kind of a pain.
So you're saying when the clicks that you have to put into the computer is a bit
That's the
better?
most reliable and the cheapest.
Yeah.
Go to
Well-
Amazon and look for a Microsoft mouse, Logitech mouse. Those are major brands.
Yeah, Logitech is good.
Yeah, I have a Logitech.
Mainly it's about how it feels in your hand because they're all different shapes and sizes, and some of them have lots of more buttons and scrollers and clickers, and you just want a basic 2-button mouse, that should be like pretty cheap.
Did I turn that off?
Well, some of those that have the right and left click and do various and sundry things, are they better for working with, oh, gosh, what do you call suddenly I've lost the word, the drive, the Google Drive? When you want to bring stuff over and move.
All the right and left mouse clicks do the same thing. Left is standard, right is the same as holding the control key on a 1-button mouse. So they all do the same thing.
Okay, well, so I just have to kind of go and see what I like or look online or something.
More important is how you like it and it feels in your hand, how big it is, how it's shaped, I would think. But the problem is I went to Fry's the other day and there was nothing in there.
No, they don't have much, and you've got to look online and order it and
Yeah.
then go pick it up.
Right,
I've
it's
been a
hard to
big-
tell
I've been a-
online what it's going to feel like until you go,
Staples
hand
and
on
Office
it.
Depot have some on display normally.
I've been a big fan of these, the Logitech M570 trackballs. You put your thumb, it's only right-handed. You put your thumb on the trackball, and then you have forward and back buttons and all, right and left click buttons, and you also have forward and back buttons for on websites. You can.
yeah, I don't think she's looking for something complicated.
It's complicated.
Go into Staples or Office Depot and. they usually
Best
have
Buy,
things
Best
like
Buy
that.
is open.
Yeah, Best Buy has it too.
Yes, Staples and Office Depot will be easier to get in and out of with less crowds, so.
They'd have a very limited selection, I would think.
Yeah.
Actually, on display, they seem to have more than Office Depot.
Mm.
Well, thank you.
More than Best Buy.
Thank you, all of you.
Also-
I will check it out.
I'm
The other thing
surprised
about-
your Apple mouse, you tried configuring it for right click and you couldn't make that work to your
Well,
liking?
no, it worked. It worked all right. In fact, I haven't changed it back yet to just being a single thing, but it didn't seem to be what I was looking for. So,
Well, then if you get a 2-button mouse, it's not going to work any different than clicking on the right side of the Apple mouse when it's configured. It's the same thing.
well,
Right
this
click is
this
right
one
click.
this one would only right click. Yeah, this one right over here. You have to. hit
No,
it
you
right
should be
about
able to
there.
set that up for each side of the mouse, left and right click. There's no physical button, but the Apple mouse with the touchscreen, because you can scroll on the top of it, and you should be able to right and left click on that.
John, can you show the mouse control panel? Maybe she doesn't know how to.
Yeah, but I don't have a 2-button mouse to I don't think it'll show that.
Camille, if you're using an Apple mouse, sometimes it can be sensitive as to where you place your fingers. If you're not clearly on the left or clearly on the right, sometimes it'll get a little wonky.
That's true.
Does somebody have a 2-button mouse that can show? See, I can't show it because I don't have a mouse connected. I probably have one here somewhere, but somebody got a 2-button Apple mouse like that? They can show the control panel. Let's see what it looks like.
I
Or
probably.
Camille, show us yours.
Well,
You can share
Okay.
your screen and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
No,
this is all it does.
Share your screen on Zoom. You share your screen and open the mouse control panel. Go System Preferences, Mouse, and share your screen and see what it looks like. Maybe it's not configured right. So you go to System Preferences and then Mouse. With your mouse, you should see.
Yeah, this is
See, I don't-
this is what I've got.
Yeah, but you got to share your screen in Zoom.
You have
Well,
to
it
stop
is
sharing.
lit up.
No.
Share screen is lit up.
Oh, I got to stop. I'm going to stop share and then you can share. Oh, I got to make you co-host. Hold on.
Did I hear correctly?
John, I have it.
Okay. Well, I want to see how hers is set up.
John, make me a co-host while you're at it.
You
Yeah.
got one? Oh yeah, okay. Okay. You're in once, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you got a 2-button mouse, Ann. You can show yours.
I have this mouse.
Oh, I want to see Camille should be able to show us what her settings are.
This is the same mouse she has, only mine's black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but-
Show that.
Oh, we want to see the control panel.
Yeah, System Preferences and see how yours, and you do right click. Yeah,
I don't have mine configured because I find I
There,
inadvertently.
who did that? I just did that.
No,
Is
you need to
anybody-
share in Zoom, you can share your screen. Ann's doing it now. Where she has the same mouse as yours, how it would be set up.
Where's mouse?
Secondary click turned on, that's all there is. You turn it on and it just works.
Yeah, that's right there where that finger is on this thing.
It shows you
here.
how to do it.
Click on the right side or on the left side, either one.
You
are
can switch it
viewing
if you're
Ann
left-handed, you
Griffin's
can
screen.
flop them, but that should work. That's gonna work the same as purchasing a brand new mouse.
Right.
I don't see why that wouldn't work.
Well, maybe I just have to play with it more. I just was,
I don't want it.
The only
What is it you want to accomplish by clicking with the right button?
well, I thought maybe I could do things easier that way than having to look for how to do things, look it up and look down a list and figure out something and click
Okay,
on it.
so
and-
the alternate is you can always hold the control key down while you're clicking a 1-button mouse and it brings up the same thing as right clicking.
Oh,
So that's easy peasy.
okay, I could try that too then.
That's what I do because I find when I program this for a secondary click, I inadvertently invoke it. So I like to keep it off. And I much prefer this mouse because of the finger scrolling action.
Okay, so stop scrolling. I'll show you what. This is stop sharing yours.
I did.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna share me. So I don't. This is a MacBook, so I don't have a mouse connected. I have a trackpad. But if I hold the control key down and I click on something, see how it pops up? That's what you would get with a right mouse click.
Mhm.
Okay.
So.
Well, then I guess I have to do is learn a little bit more about what all that stuff does for me and to benefit me.
Right. So if I go up here to the hard drive, I double click to open it. But if I control click, the same as a right mouse click, I get the pop-up menu. Okay, which I could do things. That's the same as a right mouse click. And you could do that with the mouse, single button mouse. Hold the control key and you get the same thing as doing this with the trackpad.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think you need to run out and buy a mouse until you figure out if that's.
The only thing that's a little weird about modern Apple mice is that unlike old ones, there aren't two separate, obvious, discrete buttons. It's where you press on the surface. And I found that can be a little bit, it takes some getting used to because
yeah, that's
you're pressing
probably
on the
what
right
it
side,
is.
but you're not all the way to the right side or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's too spotty.
It's just not obvious that it's a right on a window. If you bought a Microsoft mouse or a Logitech mouse that just had two buttons, you look at it without touching it, you say, oh, that's the left, that's the right. It's physically two separate buttons side by side. You can see that.
What was the mouse that Ann was referring to?
And has the standard mouse that ships with the computers. That's the Magic Mouse, right?
I went and got this special because I like the black.
That's what ships with the new computers for the last few years is the Magic Mouse. Everybody has that.
That's pretty much the same as mine. Yeah.
Everybody has that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
Well, Kenji doesn't.
Yeah.
Kenji has a trackball with lots of buttons on it.
Well, 4 buttons, not a lot.
All right. Carol Jean wants to know how to back up photos to my phone, from my phone to my laptop. The easiest way to do this is turn on photo library and sync it through iCloud, and then it's just automatic. All your photos are the same everywhere all the time.
It used to be like that, and something switched, and now it doesn't do it automatically, and I have to manually go in.
Well, you need to go into and check and see if that's turned on. The only thing is you need enough iCloud drive space to hold all your photos. If you have 30,000 photos on your computer, you have to do that.
Yeah.
So in system preferences on the Mac, you would look in your Apple ID and see if Photos is turned on right here with a checkbox. Same with your iPhone. It would be, if that's on with Photo Library, it will just sync. You may not want to do that if you have a lot of photos on your computer and not a lot of space on your phone. You got to set it up right. See, I don't do that because I don't have much photos because all mine's in documents down here. I don't have many photos.
So under iCloud, it would be iCloud Photos, and that has to be turned on.
Well, in
Optimize.
if you have High Sierra, it would actually have an options button where you would. I can't show you that. I could probably show you that over here. If I go to Zoom and stop sharing, where's my Zoom menu? That's interesting.
Well, yeah, on mine, I've got where it says automatic transfer to the automatic.
No, on your phone, it's under Apple ID and it's photos and it's called Photo Library, right?
How come at the top it says you are viewing Ann Griffin's screen? That's not my screen, that's your screen.
Okay, that's why I can't. All right, that's why I couldn't do it. So.
Come on, Ann, work with us, will you?
Zoom.
Oops.
Okay,
Thank you.
so in High Sierra, you would see system preferences, and then you would see your Apple ID is down here, iCloud is down here in a different place. And then in Photos, you would have options.
Okay.
And in here, the thing you need to turn on to get it to sync to the cloud on your computer, if this loads, okay.
But she was saying she wants to sync to her laptop. She wants to download the photos to her laptop.
From her phone to her laptop. So she has High Sierra on her laptop, and you need, this is the box here that will allow you to do that.
But when I want to download my photos to my laptop, I go in Photos, and in
That's another way to do it. That's, I would say this would be the easiest way to do it because it would be automatic.
Okay.
The other way is you plug it in with a cable and you open iTunes and Photos, and then you say import.
Yeah, that's what I do because I do not want 30,000 pictures on my phone.
Right, me too.
It's
So-
there's too many.
You would do,
Well, don't you take your pictures with your phone?
Yes.
she wants those to get
So
to her
they're
computer.
already on your phone.
No, I don't. I take a lot of pictures and not all with my phone over the years, many years. So I do not want every single picture in my photo library on my phone.
Okay, so you have a separate camera.
Well,
you-
I haven't used it in a while, but I used to, yeah.
Okay, so
Always
that's.
use image capture to
not
move into
gonna
your computer
work.
as well.
Okay.
Right, image capture is another good way of managing it.
What is image capture?
It's built in, it's an app.
I can't, my phone doesn't want to connect to the old computer without doing an update. We're not gonna do that right now. I'll try the new computer. Let's see if it'll.
Yeah, my phone updated. I thought you were talking to me at first because I didn't know you knew my middle name.
Your
Is
middle
Oh,
name, G?
hold on. Okay,
Oh,
And
Carol,
I've
Okay.
been having.
Carol Jean.
all right, so let's see if this works. Okay,
That
so
means
I
we got
disconnected
two of
my,
them.
I disconnected my phone to the computer, and in Photos, I see my phone. I click on my phone, and it's gonna see my pictures, and then I say import. It's looking for them.
Yeah, I
Import,
did.
Put them into
Oh, I
photo.
gotta trust it. Hold on.
you can import selected or you can import all. And
There you
the-
go.
the
All right, so
caveat is if you choose import all, you
import all new.
chance of getting duplicates. It does not always work as advertised.
Yeah, mine is not that easy. Mine's more difficult to do that, to import them.
Now, this is the way it works. If you have, are you using Photos or iPhoto?
Just regular photos.
Right, so this is Photos on an iPhone 7.
Yeah.
Happens to be High Sierra, but it works the same. You plug the phone in, open Photos, and it says import all new ones. That would mean it will ignore all the ones that were
But
already
you
in
did it
there. and
much
just-
easier than what mine.
This is not, should work exactly like this.
John, this is Craig Olson. The question I have looking at the screen is, what I also see is after you can import all new photos, and then there's a delete them to delete them after you import them. And that's what I
Yeah.
usually do to clear out the phone pictures. But I notice it's not on this screen, so I'm puzzled by that a little bit.
Probably an image capture. that
Well,
you-
I haven't pushed the button yet. Let me see what happens when I don't do it this way. I have them sync through the library.
Usually it's already there though, because you click on the delete and then do the import all new photos and it'll delete afterwards. That's why I'm a little surprised what I'm seeing.
Craig, are you not thinking of image capture, which has that option as a checkbox?
Maybe I am.
Yeah, but image capture's not going to put them in Photos. It's going to
No,
download
it'll
into the
put 'em on-
Finder.
I didn't think of using image capture, so.
There's another way to do it. If you want to do it the hard way, you go to image capture, which is included on your computer. And this will see your scanner or your phone or your digital camera, whatever device you have. There's my phone. And there's all the pictures on the phone. Or if you had any, Canon digital camera, whatever, it can just see it and it will see all the photos and you can say download all. It puts where you want to put them, and it wants to put them by default in your pictures folder. That does not put them in your photos library. You would have to manually drag them in there to do that.
Where did you find image capture?
It's an application.
Applications
It's just in your applications. It's one of the things that comes with your computer in applications right here.
Gonna go see.
And this is a good way to clear. If you want to clear the photos off your phone to make space, this is the fastest way to do it. You come in here, you can sort by different things. You can sort by the kind and just get rid of the movies. The size, so you can find the big ones and delete just the biggest ones. You hit there and you just hit the delete key and it will take it out of there. You can also sort by other things like type. Should be file size, kind. So you could sort by kind and find the movies and just delete the movies because those are usually the biggest. So there's lots of things you can do here.
So John, when you had something highlighted there, it looked like the delete button was still grayed out. Above the word width there.
I see that. I'm not sure why that is. That's a good question. Why it's like that.
Maybe
Don't
there's a
know.
graph that can
But
tell
it because you haven't downloaded it?
No. You should be able to wipe these out. Select all. Not sure why that is.
Does the delete button work?
This is interesting. It's connected via the cloud.
Oh.
Or it has a cloud icon there. I wonder why that is. Because it's connected with a cable.
I think this is confusing things more than helping.
Unplug it. Okay. I unplugged it and it's still there. Oh, there it is. It disappeared. Okay. I don't know why that is.
Perhaps you have to download the image before you can delete it off the device to
No.
protect it from being.
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, now it's locked. But that's weird. And it goes unlocked and it didn't ask me. It acts like it's doing the cloud.
So it's on the cloud.
Can you
Icon for the cloud. That's weird.
I think we need to move on, John. This is not helping.
You're right.
That's okay. I'll figure it out. Or once the
I have a
pandemic is over, I'll
question.
come to a clinic.
The other Carol Jean has a question.
Yeah, I'm coming. I have all of my, okay, maybe I should ask this first. When did the brand new iOS come out? Is it just like today?
No, it came out like a while ago.
Week or two ago.
Okay,
iOS
I've got,
14 or the update?
It was
14
just,
came out.
there was just a,
I
a,
just,
there was just a-
14.3.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, why doesn't my phone automatically update? I've got it. Both of those options are on and it doesn't update. I plug it in every night too.
I believe it only, I'm not sure. I think it has to be plugged into power, 50% charged and on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I plug it in every night to recharge it.
Are you,
We'll just do it manually. It's not a big deal. It only happens every few months.
is it connected by on Wi-Fi? Is it on your Wi-Fi network?
Yeah. There's no other way to use it if it's not on a Wi-Fi network, right?
Sure, you could use
No.
it.
If
cellular.
Wi-Fi is off, you're on cell connection, it won't do it.
What do you mean by cell connection?
Data.
A phone, right?
Excuse me?
This is a phone or an iPad.
It's, well, both. This is a phone, you know, this is my
Well, the phone
iPhone 7.
always has an internet connection via the cell network. Your iPad doesn't necessarily have it unless you buy that and pay for a cell connection.
Yeah,
You always
I
have an
don't.
internet connection on your phone everywhere
Right.
you go. It
Right.
won't do it unless it's on Wi-Fi.
Well, at home, it's always on Wi-Fi, right?
Not necessarily.
Not unless you connect it.
You have to
Doesn't
make
automatically.
the Wi-Fi symbol.
You have the Wi-Fi symbol in the menu bar, and if you open settings and go to Wi-Fi, what is the name of the network it's connected to? A lot of
It's
people
my
do this. They
network.
don't.
It's my network.
Okay, a lot of people don't do this. They go home and they don't connect to their Wi-Fi, and then they're using cell data, and it, you know, costs them money.
It automatically connects as soon as I get home.
Okay.
That's how it should be.
And I plug it in every night to recharge it, and I don't know why the updaters don't update.
You
the
have it set
software.
for auto update?
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
She?
Yeah.
Are you talking about
And
the app updates or the system updates?
system updates.
Software update?
Yes.
I'm up to date. So right now, what does it say? You're on
It says your
14.3.
software is up to date. About an hour ago, I was trying to sync all my photos,
Okay,
and
it
it wouldn't
says
do anything until I
automatically
updated the
automatically
iOS.
automatically install software updates overnight after they have been downloaded. You will receive a notification before updates are installed. Your phone must be charged and connected to Wi-Fi to complete this update.
Okay, but what you're talking about, Carol, now I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when you go to connect your phone to download your photos, you get this pop-up that says your phone needs to be updated in order to connect to the iOS device.
Oh yeah, you got to do that.
And
yeah, that happened today.
But that doesn't happen automatically. That only happens. That happens when you try to connect after it's an off, and you have to actually select it.
That is a terrible interface from Apple. It's been going on for years. It doesn't tell you what it's going to do. It just says you need to do it. A lot of people say, "I don't want to upgrade the OS. I don't want Catalina." And they don't do it. All you do is click do it, and it doesn't tell you what it's doing, and it takes a long time to do it. It pops up erratically, especially when you do a software update and then connect it to an older OS. It's really terrible. Boy,
we saw the same thing happen on John's computer just now when he tried to connect.
When I plugged this into my old computer.
You're talking about your iOS, right? Not your
No.
It's talking about what happens is you go to connect your phone. Okay, yes, it's on the Mac. That's what I'm talking about. You're talking about on the phone. Okay,
yeah. I connected up my phone.
You're talking about this screen here, right?
That's what I was talking about, but I guess that's not what she was talking about. She was talking about on her phone.
So this screen here happens when you plug a newer phone with a newer OS into an older computer with an older OS. It tells you this. So you have to install. So this is iOS 14.3 on High Sierra. And I haven't plugged it in here in a while, so that's why it's telling me to do this.
But I get that update on my iPhone 11, even when it's updated to the latest version.
I know, it's stupid.
It's after it's like a component that should upgrade with the rest of the update, but it doesn't. It waits until you connect the phone.
Oh, I think
it's
that
crazy.
The software update it refers to is
this
on
actually
on the phone.
What this is a software update for iTunes on the old computer is what this is. It doesn't tell you that, but that's what it is.
Right.
Some people mistakenly think this is a Mac OS update that they don't want to do. So they don't do it. And if you click install, it takes a long time.
Isn't that your phone it's showing right there on the left?
It's telling me that is the phone that's connected, and I need to install an update on the computer for it to connect to iTunes, is what it says. That's what it means.
Okay, and it's a quick update too. iTunes.
It's a terrible interface. It's very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay, well, I installed the update and it took a while,
So if you
but I
get
was
this,
trying to,
and whatever this is, if you get this, you need to do it or else your phone isn't going to talk to your computer to do the sync.
yeah. But I thought it would automatically update overnight since I plug it in and.
Yeah, this is a different deal than what you're doing. Okay, so I gotta stop.
So when we're ready, I've got a question too. When we're ready to move on.
Oh, no. I got one more thing.
Okay.
My photos update to, they always sync with iCloud, but they don't sync with my Mac Mini computer. And I was trying to get that done, and I ended up plugging my phone in and doing it manually, you know, just selecting all the photos I wanted to import and all that.
What's your Mac Mini running for an OS? Mac OS what?
Catalina.
Okay, so there is no more iTunes, so you should be able to do it on what I was showing on this one, share screen. So this needs to be in your Apple ID. That's controlled in iCloud. As long as this switch is on right here.
Yeah.
And in
That's
your
been on
phone,
for-
and your Apple ID, what OS is your phone running? 14.3?
The brand new one that I just updated.
Yeah, so that should be the same. As long as those two are
14.3.
on, it should work.
Okay, hold on.
In 14.3,
I go to iCloud.
iCloud,
and
it has photos, but you have to tap on photos, and then there's a switch for iCloud photos.
Yeah, that's been on for years.
Then it should work.
And it doesn't work.
Can I jump in here? Because I had exactly the same problem.
Yeah.
And the way that I resolved it is I went back in and changed my passwords to make sure that the passwords were all the same. I did it on all my devices. And suddenly a month of photos downloaded that I couldn't get to download any other way.
Yep, it
Now,
could not be logged
passwords
in.
and where?
No, I don't know why that happened. I mean, I had done that, and I'm hearing my story right now repeated. I was having problems. The photos were not downloading from the cloud to my laptop. They were coming to my phone. They were going to my iPad, but they wouldn't download to the computer. I just went in and changed all the passwords and upgraded them all at the same time. And boom, all
Which
the
of the
photos.
many passwords? Which
Pardon?
passwords?
No, it was the Apple
ID.
ID password, not the one for my computer. I just
My
went in.
Apple ID has only one password.
So what she's saying is she fixed it by changing her Apple ID password, and that would
changed it.
require her to log back in on all her devices.
And I logged. That's exactly what I had to do. I went back in and upgraded it on all the devices, and then boom, everything was fine.
I would say
that's so
you could try
interesting.
just logging out of your Apple ID on all your devices and logging back in.
Oh,
I did that. Right. That's right. That's what I did.
how do
You
I
wouldn't,
log
necessarily, you
out?
wouldn't necessarily have to change your password. You would just have log out.
I was desperate, so I just
So
tried anything.
the other way to check your iCloud data is to go in a web browser of your choice to iCloud.com and see what's there, because that's what everything's syncing to. It'll show you your photos that are in the cloud. And if they're there, then the problem lies with the device they're not going to. If they're not making it to the cloud, then there's something wrong with the device that's sending them up to the cloud. They're not getting
everything was everything was fine now. I got a phone call I have to take. Yes.
Okay.
So I would say your next thing to look at would be iCloud in a web browser and see what the situation of the photos is. Are they there? If they're there, I think I would log. If they were there and they're not making it to your computer, I would log out of your Apple ID and log back in on your computer.
How do I log out of my Apple ID?
Go to System Preferences and then the Apple ID and sign out.
System preferences.
and then sign back in. It's going to warn you that, no, not on your phone. The problem lies with your computer. No, the photos aren't making it to your computer, right?
Right.
So you sign out of your Apple ID on your computer and then sign back in.
Oh, okay. So that's in system preferences. And okay, I'll give that a try.
Well, I would look on the iCloud on the web first and see if the pictures are there.
Well, I was just there.
Could be they're not making it there from the phone for some reason. And then the problem will be probably log out of the phone and log back in.
Let's move on to the keynote. We're over the half hour and get back to questions after the videos.
Okay.
Okay, is Chris here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you got the keynote? I can
Yes,
probably run it. I'm not having a problem. I can probably do it. But yours works better. You got a better connection, higher speed connection.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see you. I'm gonna make you co-host. Standby. Participants. There's participants.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Chris. Chris. Make co-host.
Host mute.
Chris. There we go. I made the wrong person. Sorry, Greg. I'm gonna take you off. The column moves when I'm trying to do it. Make draw co-host. Where did Chris move down the list somewhere else? Where'd he go? Chris. Stop moving around.
Come on, John, work with us.
Where'd he go? He moved somewhere else.
Every time
Here he is. All right, there he is. Okay, don't move. He moved again. This one I got to do it. He moves.
Very
All
still.
right. There he goes. All right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What if you can pin people? Can you pin people to the top of the list?
No, it's based on whether they're muted or not.
Okay.
That's a nice
right.
picture.
It's just the standard pictures you get with a Mac OS.
Okay, so why is that so?
You guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. View. Standard.
Is the recording seeing the keynote or the or the Hollywood Squares?
I change it back and forth. When he's sharing his screen, it takes over the whole screen.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Today, let me show you what to do if Safari is running slow on your Mac. MacMost is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 800 supporters. Go to MacMost.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So first, let me start off by saying that Safari should load and display web pages very fast on your Mac. It's a very fast browser, and if that's not happening, then something is wrong. So here's a whole list of different things that you could try if Safari is working slowly for you. If you find one of these is the problem, let us all know in the comments below so we know which ones work more often than others. Now before we start digging into settings and files, one of the most common things I see when people say that their browser is working slowly is that they have tons of tabs open like this. Safari should be able to handle lots of tabs, but if Safari is slow and you have lots of tabs open, first thing I would do is to close some of them. There's really no reason to have lots of tabs open. Chances are you're not using all of these web pages at once. It's easy to go back to a web page. There are a lot of alternatives. For instance, under View, turn on Show Favorites bar, and this will show you all of these bookmark links. Anything in your Favorites folder will be here. So it's easy to go back to a page. So for instance here I've got the Apple homepage open, but when I'm done looking at it I can just close it. If I want to go to it again, all I need to do is simply click on the bookmark there and it will open up. So instead of having all of these tabs open, try just using 3 or 4 at a time. Only the pages you're actually looking at right now and switching back and forth between. Otherwise, close a web page knowing you can go back to it really easily. So one of the first things I would do if Safari was running slow was I would try to clear all the website data. Now website data shouldn't slow down Safari, but if a website's misconfigured or misbehaving, then perhaps it could cause some issues. So let's go to Safari, Preferences. From there, go to Privacy. Under Privacy, look for the button Manage Website Data. Go there, and after a minute it will load all of the website data your browser is currently saving. You can simply click the Remove All button. This may log you out of some websites. It may clear out preferences you have set for other websites. But in general you won't notice too much of a difference. So remove all and clear all that out. Now the next thing you may want to clear out is your history. Your history shouldn't slow down Safari either, but it's worth a try. Go to History, and at the very bottom you've got Clear History. But you could also go to Safari, Clear History. And then you could choose to clear out only the last hour, today and yesterday, or all history. Go to All History and Clear History and see if that helps. Now something far more likely to be causing trouble is extensions. If you go to Safari, Preferences, and then click on Extensions, you'll see a list of what extensions you've got installed. If Safari is running slowly and you've got a lot of extensions here, then it's actually pretty likely this might be your problem. You can simply uncheck these to disable the extensions, and then for good measure restart Safari. If there are things here you really don't need, you can always select them and click Uninstall. Try to be very careful with extensions. Only have ones that you really know what they are, what they do, and you know you need them. But when trying to troubleshoot, turn them all off even if you know what they do and you want them, just to see if they're the ones causing trouble. After all, you may want an extension, but if it's causing Safari to run slowly, then maybe you need to find an alternative or go to the developer site and find out if there's a new version or a fix for it causing Safari to run slowly. Another thing to look for in Safari Preferences is under Search. When you do a search by typing up here, you're going to get a lot of different things, like for instance Google suggestions and bookmarks and things like that. You could turn a lot of these things off, speeding up the use of the search field up here. So turn off Include Search Engine Suggestions, turn off Preload Top Hit, make sure Include Safari Suggestions turned off, even turn off Show Favorites if you want. So with all that turned off, this is going to give you simpler results, but it's going to be using a lot less resources to generate those results. Also, note that when you create a new tab or window in Safari, you may be loading something automatically in it. If you go to General in here, you can have new windows or tabs open with the Start Page, Home Page, Empty Page, or Same Page. The Home Page is going to load whatever you've got set right here as your home page. But if you're opening up a new tab or window so you can then go somewhere else, you're actually loading 2 web pages then. Your home page and then the page you actually want to go to. So you can cut the number of web page loads in half by switching this to empty. Same thing if you have it set to Same Page. And if you have it set to Start Page, well the Start Page loads previews for your recently visited sites. So it's going to be loading a lot of things. One thing that can speed up Safari a lot is to just have Empty Page set for both of those. So now when you open a new tab, it's just empty. It hasn't taken up any resources to load anything. And now you can type what you want or go to a bookmark. Now you may want to try emptying your browser cache. Cache actually speeds up using Safari. So working properly, it should actually make things faster. So don't expect clearing it out to actually speed things up. But if something is corrupted or maybe a website's misconfigured, then it might be worth trying to do that. You got to go to Safari, Preferences, Advanced, and then check Show Develop Menu and Menu Bar. Now you've got a new menu up here. Go to that menu and then select Empty Caches. And then maybe restart Safari for good measure and see if things are working a little faster. Now if they are working faster, then it may not be that clearing the cache actually was what was helping. What was helping might be that your hard drive might be almost full. If you go to the Apple menu About This Mac and then to Storage, you can check how much space you're using. As a good rule, you should have between 10 and 20% of your space available. If it's fuller than 90%, then you may find that Safari and lots of other things are running slowly as well. So it might be time to do some spring cleaning, to archive some projects you're done with, to delete some apps that you're not using anymore, things like that, and try to get between 10 and 20% available space on your drive to make performance better in general. Now there are other settings in Safari that are specific to websites. If you go to Safari, Preferences, and then you go to Websites, then you're going to find a bunch of different settings on here on the left. For instance, autoplay. You may have various different settings here for autoplay, and then you've got your default here. If Safari is slow, you may want to set your default to never autoplay. So when you go to a page that has a video on it, it's automatically stopped and you have to actually press play to begin. And then maybe review these other sites and set some of them to never autoplay as well. Now if you have any browser plugins installed, you should find an item here at the very bottom of this list for plugins. And you can set the default to have those disabled. Plugins aren't really used much anymore, and with December 31st, 2020 being the end of the line for Flash, most people won't have any plugins installed. But if you've got some, you may want to consider disabling them and seeing if that's the issue. You can also check for plugins by going to your library folder. So in the Finder, choose Go and hold the Option key down to reveal library. Then look for Internet Plugins right here. And it should be empty. But if there's something in there, it might not necessarily be bad. Apple's got this page here which lists a few plugins that should be okay and a couple other folders that you might want to look in to check for plugins. Now another thing that could be slowing down Safari has nothing to do with Safari or your Mac at all. It may be your network equipment, your cable or DSL modem or whatever you got from your internet provider. When was the last time you tried restarting it? You may want to try turning it off, waiting a minute, and turning it on again. Also, how old is it? If you don't own your own equipment but it's provided to you, if it's more than a few years old, you may want to call them and find out if there's an updated piece of equipment. They won't automatically call you and offer it to you, but you could be due getting an upgrade on your equipment, and that could significantly speed things up. And a lot of the equipment also gets updates, just like your Mac gets updates, but it may not be updating properly. So you may want to go and contact support or look at the documentation you have to see how you check for updates for your internet router. Now another thing to consider is this may be a domain name server issue, DNS. So you can look up your DNS settings by going to System Preferences and then Network. And then you want to look for how you're connected. In this case I have both Ethernet and Wi-Fi, but most people are just going to have Wi-Fi. So select that and then click Advanced. Then look for DNS. Now typical settings will show a number like this. Yours is going to be different in gray. This means it's using your internet service provider's DNS. Every time you go to a website, like say apple.com, it's going to take apple.com and use DNS to find out what are the actual numbers, the real address of apple.com. If the DNS server is slow, it could slow down loading web pages. It's not just the domain name of the page you're at that it needs to look up. There's all sorts of content on the pages that may be from different websites and servers. So there might be dozens of DNS lookups every time you load a web page up. If your DNS server is slow, it can definitely make your browser slow. So one option is to click the plus button and actually add your own DNS. Now here are some free ones that you may want to check out. Google has a DNS service and you can use these two DNS servers. OpenDNS.com has some addresses you can use as well. And there are lots of others, like for instance quad9.net. At the very least, use these as a test. Try Google's and see if switching DNS will actually make Safari faster. If it doesn't make any difference, then the problem probably wasn't DNS. And if it does make a difference, then you can go and shop around for the best free DNS service. Now another thing that may be happening is it may just be one or two websites that are actually slow on Safari. And you could figure out which ones those are by going to Activity Monitor. So look for the Activity Monitor app and launch it. Now you may think, well, Activity Monitor is for figuring out what app is slow. I know Safari is slow, so what good is that going to do? Well, Activity Monitor will actually break things down by website. So do a search for HTTP and then you'll see a list of all the websites you currently have open in Safari and websites you recently had open as well. And you can see how much CPU each one is using. In this case they're all resting nice and quietly using 0% CPU. So all is well. But if you see one website up here using a lot of CPU, even though you're not doing anything with the site, you know that there's a problem with that site and maybe try to find an alternative. Another thing you may want to consider is maybe you're not getting the full speed from your internet provider that you think you are. So do a speed test. Go to a site like speedtest.net and run the speed test to see what sort of service you're getting from them. If it's underperforming, then you may want to call them. The problem may not be Safari at all, but your internet provider. Now if all that fails, there is kind of an extreme action that you could take. And that's to completely reset Safari by deleting a bunch of stuff out of your library folder. So first, quit Safari. Maybe for good measure, quit all the apps that you've got running. Now use the Go menu in the Finder with the Option key held down to go to Library. Now where Safari saves its preferences and other things depends on which version of macOS you're using. So I'm using Big Sur here. There is an entire folder called Safari and you could put that in the trash. Then go into Preferences and look for anything in here that has Safari. So I can just do a quick search here and look for Safari in Preferences. So I can see some things here and put those in the trash. Then also look in Containers and under there do a search for Safari and get rid of all of that. And then relaunch Safari and it should start out like it's the first time you've run it. However, you may find a lot of things like bookmarks come back simply because you have those synced with iCloud. So if Safari's been slow for you, hopefully one of those things worked to speed things up again.
The nuclear option is pretty drastic. That's the last resort.
You want to introduce this slide, John?
Anybody got any questions about Safari?
I do.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, let me get back to the right screen here. Oh, there we go. So it's actually a copy and paste question relating to Safari. Should I ask it now?
Yeah, that was a speed up Safari, anything related to what he was talking about. So let's watch the copy and paste. Maybe your question is in there.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Okay.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Today, let's take a comprehensive look at one of the most basic techniques for using your Mac or any computer, copy and paste. MacMost is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 800 supporters. Go to MacMost.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So one of the most basic techniques that you need to know when using a computer is copy and paste. In its simplest form, it works like this. You can select something like text and then copy it by going to the Edit menu and Copy. And notice the keyboard shortcut is Command-C. Then you can go somewhere else in that document and then go to Paste or Command-V to paste a copy of that. So what's actually happening there? Well, when you select some text and then copy, you're actually placing a copy of that item in what's called the clipboard or sometimes the buffer. And that's this visible storage space where that content sits there and waits for a paste command and then it will paste what's in there. But it doesn't clear out the clipboard. You can go and paste again. I can just keep using Command-V as many times as I want. The contents of the clipboard remain the same even after I've pasted. Now you can also use Cut instead of Copy. The difference being when you choose Edit, Cut or Command-X, it deletes the original content. It still puts a copy of that in the buffer so you can then use Command-V to paste. This is useful for when you want to move content, not copy it. Now some people also use Cut as a substitute for delete. It's a little safer than deleting because when you delete, what you've deleted is gone, although you can get it back with an undo. But when you cut, it deletes it, but it also places a copy in the buffer. So you could decide to paste it somewhere else or you could decide to simply do nothing with it. Now there's a lot more to copy and paste than just that. For instance, I could copy and then I can go to a separate document like this one and paste into that document. So you can copy from one document and paste into another. You could also go to a completely different app. Like for instance, I can go to Mail here where I'm composing a new message and I can paste into the message there. So you can copy and paste between apps as long as the content makes sense. For instance, copying and pasting text from a text edit document to a mail message makes sense. But maybe copying a video clip into a text document, that doesn't make sense. Now when copying and pasting text, notice that not just the text was pasted, also the styling was pasted as well. So in this case the font size was bigger. But even if it was a different font, if it was a different style like italics, or it was a different color, that would come along with the copy and paste. However, you can copy and then use Edit, Paste, and Match Style. In this app, Text Edit, it's Option Shift Command V. And using this, will actually paste, but just the plain text. And that will take on the styling of wherever it was you were inserting it. Different apps have different commands and different keyboard shortcuts for this kind of command. Now copy and paste works for more than just text. It works for just about anything. So here I am in an image editing app, in this case Pixelmator Pro, and I can choose the selection tool. I can select something and then I could do copy and then paste, and you can see it pasted another layer with just that selection in it. I can now switch to the move tool and move this copy around. And you can even paste into another document. So I'll go to this blank document here and do Command V to paste, and you can see it pastes a copy of the part of the image I had selected. Here I am in the Photos app, and I could select a photo, and let's say I wanted to paste it into a document. I could just Command C to copy it there in Photos. Then go to a document like this text edit document and then Command V to paste it into that document. The same thing in any other app like Pages, Numbers, Keynote, Microsoft Word, whatever you want. If I paste here, you can see it's going to paste that photo that I copied from the Photos app. You can also paste that image into a message here in Messages. So you don't necessarily have to use this whole interface to select the photo. If you've copied the photo from the Photos app or from anywhere like a file or part of an image in an image editing app, you can go to your message here, do Command V, and it will paste it in. So for instance in Pixelmator here I can select a part of the image, do Command C to copy, then switch to Messages and do Command V to paste, and you can see it pastes in that part of the image I selected. You can also grab other types of objects as well. So for instance here's a photo in Pages, and I could copy that, and then I can go into Keynote and paste, and you can see it pastes that photo. In this case the photo even had a title and a caption, and you can see it included it when I copied and pasted it. You can also select multiple items. So here I can select this photo on a Keynote slide, and then I can Command click and select this title here that I can copy. If I go and create a new slide and then paste, you can see it pastes both of those items there. So you can copy and paste multiple items if you have them selected. You can also copy and paste files and folders in the Finder. So here I am in my Documents folder, and I can select a photo like this one, Command C to copy it, and let me go into another folder here and I can Command V to paste it. Matter of fact, if I look under Edit, it says Paste Item. And I can see it puts a copy of that file in this folder. If I go back, I can see the file is still there. So it's a true copy and paste. And you could do that with multiple files. So like I did in Keynote, I can select an item and then Command click to select a second item. And you can see both of these are selected. I can continue to select items. As long as I hold the Command key down, it will add the item to the selection. Then Command C, and then I can go into a folder like this and Command V to paste, and those three items come in. Now let's say I want to cut and paste in the Finder. Well, the Finder doesn't work like that because it's not going to let you remove a file first and then paste it somewhere. Instead it does the opposite. You can only copy a file, but once you're ready to paste it, if I look in the Edit menu it says Paste 3 items. If I hold the Option key down you could see it changes to Move 3 items.
Wow.
So that's Option Command V. So instead of Command V, if I do Option Command V, it's going to move those there. If I go back, I can see those items are now missing. And by the way, most times you copy and paste, you can easily undo with Command Z. And that even works here now that I've moved those 3 items. I'll Command Z and you can see it puts them back. And you can copy from places even if you're not editing them. For instance, you can't edit a web page, but I can select text in a web page and I can copy. I can't paste because I can't change what's on the web page. It's not my web page to edit. But now I can paste in text edit, pages, messages, anywhere. I did mention that the clipboard or buffer is kind of this invisible storage space, but you actually can see it. If you happen to be in the Finder, you can go to Edit and there's a special menu command called Show Clipboard. And you look at that and here you could see the contents of the clipboard. It'll even show an image if that's what you have in there. Now if you're thinking it's a shame that there's only one clipboard, you can only copy one item and then paste that item. Wouldn't it be great to actually have multiple clipboards so you can copy a bunch of things and then select which to paste? Well, you can actually get that. An app that does that is called a Clipboard Manager, and there are a ton of them available in the App Store. Just search for Clipboard Manager. you'll get some of the most popular ones right up here up front. I've used a lot of these. Currently, I'm using Cloud Clip Manager, but most of the rest of these do basically that same thing. And they each have special features. You may like one more than another because of a feature it offers. So take a look at these and maybe get yourself a clipboard manager to make copy and paste even more powerful.
Copy paste question, Kenji?
Well, first I have a comment, which is my mind is blown that there's a move command. I just didn't realize where it was and how to use it. That in Finder, that's amazing. How long has that been like that? Has it been like that forever, or is that relatively
Quite a while. That's a feature that was copied from Windows. Microsoft Windows had that copy and paste files feature before the Mac did.
The other thing I didn't know is that I could select an area of a graphic and copy only that area and move it without to another place. So those are two great tips in my book. But okay, here's my question. So in the Chrome browser, I can, let's say I'm on Facebook and I see a graphic that I like that I want to put in my own post or something like that. In the Chrome browser, I can copy that graphic and then go somewhere else and paste it. In the Safari browser, if I try to copy a graphic and then paste it somewhere, what I get is either a text description, if it thinks it can figure out what the image is, like if it's a guy in a chair, it'll say maybe a person sitting or something like that, or else it would just show a tiny camera icon. I can, if I copy from elsewhere, I can paste that image correctly in Safari, but I can't copy and paste it in Safari. And I'm wondering if there's some way around that. Anybody experience that?
Got me.
In Safari, if I want to take a graphic off a web page, I just click on it and drag it to my desktop.
Yeah, that's what I do. I think it's a selection problem in Safari to get it selected, to copy it. Chrome is allowing you to select it somehow where Safari is not.
The Safari doesn't let you select.
I think that's the issue. If you can drag it, if you can get a hold of it and drag it to your desktop, then you can open it up and drag it into where you want to go.
How about a screenshot?
Yeah, screenshot works. That's the last resort because sometimes you don't get exactly what you want, or you don't get the whole resolution, or that's a workaround, really. But yeah, you can screenshot anything you can see. You can screenshot.
Some things with control click on the graphic, it'll, the drop down may say save image or
Right click or control click, and it says open image in new window. You might try that, open image in new tab, where you get the image in a web browser page with only that image in it. Then you should be able to copy and paste it because you can select it at that point. I'm pretty sure it's a selection problem.
especially in Google Images, it's very handy to use the control
Or do it in
click.
Google. Sometimes if it works in Google Chrome, then do it in Chrome. And, that's a workaround.
But you can always, as I said, you can always drag it to the website, to the desktop, and then you can select portions of it from there and copy and paste it once it's on the desktop.
I usually drag it. I don't copy it. I
Right.
usually drag it out, and then I want to save it for later for use, and I file it away and give it, usually it has a stupid name. And I name it what I want and file it away for later use because if it's something I'm going to reuse. So I got a whole file called Facebook images where I named it that when I originally was doing that. I have images for all the stuff I do in MailChimp, all the little thumbnails for all the little, every little thing. That's all saved web images that are filed away for me to reuse. Copy and paste, that's how I do the MailChimp, pretty much all of it. I don't type almost anything.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We got, this is one that's not from MacMost. This is from a new place I found. This place posts a lot of news stuff that I've been using in the MailChimp, but I never realized that he actually does videos also. So this is a new guy. We'll see how we like him.
Welcome everybody to Apple Insider. It is Andrew here, and Apple has officially released iOS 14.3 to the masses. This massive update includes a ton of new features, tweaks, and optimizations, and we got a lot to talk about. So without wasting your time, let's go ahead and dive into what is new with iOS 14.3. Starting out with the most breaking news, and that is that iOS 14.3 will be launching to include support for Apple's new AirPods Max. So these are their new over-the-ear headphones launching on December 15th, but shipping dates have already slipped well into 2021 for these pretty amazing new headphones. They use Apple's H1 chip, offer noise canceling, hear through or transparency mode to hear your surroundings, a bunch of other awesome features in this design. So those guys are launching on December 15th, and they will require iOS 14.3 to operate. And on December 14th, Apple is launching its Apple Fitness Plus program. So Apple Fitness Plus will also require iOS 14.3. So this big update is going to include support for both of those new products. So Apple's new hardware product and Apple's new service product, both of those coming with 14.3. For users of Apple's latest devices like the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, we see support in iOS 14.3 for Apple ProRAW. So Apple ProRAW is its new high-end imaging format that allows you to combine the benefits of shooting in RAW, such as additional detail and highlights and shadows, as well as all the benefits of its computational photography, so things like Smart HDR and Deep Fusion. So Apple's bringing both of those worlds together for its ProRAW format. Now, Apple ProRAW will be supported in the native camera app out of the box. You can enable it by going into settings, looking at camera, and then going into the format menu. You can enable it there. Then while shooting in the camera app, there'll be a little toggle in the upper corner where you can disable or enable it for each individual shot as you choose. And then once you shoot anything in Apple ProRAW, there'll be a RAW indicator in the Photos app, similar to an HDR shot in that upper left-hand corner. And there is a new image gallery type. So we have ones for video or animated, anything like that, but there's now a new one for ones that are shot in the Apple ProRAW format. So you have all those features coming to Apple ProRAW. This is also enabled for third parties. So third-party camera apps, such as the amazing Moment app, the Moment Pro app, or the Halide camera app, both of those, and as well as many others, are likely to take advantage of Apple ProRAW as quickly as they can. So expect updates coming from those apps and more right away to enable support for Apple ProRAW in their own third-party apps. There's also a new option to record video at 25 frames per second. When it comes to Apple shortcuts, with iOS 14.3, there's a new option, or I guess I should say a returned option, to set your wallpaper for both the lock screen and the home screen. This was a previous feature, then Apple stripped it away, so it is returned here in 14.3. 14.3 also enables you to launch shortcuts from your home screen without first launching the Shortcuts app. Use this small compact UI, which you can also kind of get rid of, but it allows you to create your own custom icons for apps, add them to your home screen and theme it as you'd like, and then when you launch them, instead of going to the Shortcuts app first and then launching the app, it'll just launch the app right away. It works much nicer, and I know a lot of you are very excited about this. There are a bunch of other minor changes as well coming at 14.3. The App Clips code scanning feature. These are just code to launch app clips. That was not working before in 14. Apple just didn't launch the feature yet. That is included here. HomeKit now allows you to run updates for third-party devices through the Home app instead of launching those third-party apps, once developers add support for that at least. And there's also granular options to automatically enable or to automatically download updates to your HomePods. Very handy. Ecosia is a new browser option in Safari alongside things like Google or Yahoo or any of those. If you use Apple News, there's a new subscriber edition insignia in that top right-hand corner. The text is also smaller as to not cut off text in a lot of the different headlines. We have new links inside of Apple News audio stories, and the Apple News audio page has been updated to include more granular sections, so you can go by subject to pick and choose the audio that you want to listen to. The Apple Music app was updated a little bit. There's new animated artwork for albums. There is a cardio fitness category inside of the Health app, so you can monitor the cardio fitness as well as VO2 Max inside of the Health app now. We also saw some updates to the TV app on iOS. Pretty minor changes, making the UI a little bit more in line with the Music app on iOS. We saw some adjusted color tints, some color change on buttons. We saw an updated search page that more again matches the Music app, some minor things along those lines. But that pretty much covers it. Honestly, that is a lot to pack into one update here. I mean, we have full support for AirPods Max, we have support for Apple Fitness Plus, we have updates to the Health app, we have shortcut changes, we have HomeKit updates through the Home app, we have Apple Pro Raw launching on the iPhone 12 lines. Just a ton of stuff that is packed into this update. Now, go ahead, download this right now. Let me know over on Twitter what you think once you've got it installed. You can find me at Andrew_OSU.
He's kind of a fast talker like Gary is. Any questions about that? That came out 2 weeks ago, so that's an old video. I just found this guy's videos the other day. Okay.
I don't like his beard. It's the wrong color.
We'll see what he comes out with. We'll see. It's another choice. This is another one of Gary's. He's doing a series now of these, kind of going back, just real basic features and combining things back. So we already looked at one or two of those today. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, this one's a good feature. I use this feature all the time. It came into effect just a couple of versions ago before High Sierra, but it works great.
To rename files. You used to have to use a third-party app to rename multiple files at once.
Yeah, I used to use, I can't remember what the name of it
Better
is.
Finder rename.
That's it, Better Finder.
There's a whole series of those. Are Better Finder attributes, Better Finder rename, Better touch bar.
I got one called a Better Finder rename. Yeah, that's the one I used. Yeah, I still got it installed, but this feature in the macOS is really all I need. It works good enough. I don't need to go into Better Finder rename.
I like Name Mangler the best. I use that a lot.
I use Bridge even for Finder. You can do it even with Finder names like HTML files and stuff because I have it.
Right.
Okay.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Today, let me show you how to rename files on your Mac. MacMost is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 800 supporters. Go to MacMost.com/Patreon. There you can read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So one of the most basic things you need to do in any computer operating system is to rename files and folders. There are several ways to do this on the Mac. Here I am in the Finder, and let's say I want to rename this file. All I need to do is select it, and then under the File menu there is an option for Rename. If I select that, then you can see the name is selected. The file extension isn't selected, so you can easily rename the file while leaving the extension as is. All you need to do is type something, and then when you're done, press Return, and the file is renamed. Now it seems a shame that there's no keyboard shortcut for this, but actually there is. All you need to do is select the file and then press Return, and that brings you right into the rename mode. And you can type and hit Return and you're done. The same thing works for folders. All you need to do is select the folder, and then you can either choose Rename from the File menu or press Return to enter rename mode. Note that if you ever need to change the extension, you can. It's just that it's not initially selected when you go to Rename. But you can move the cursor there and select it. You can actually quickly do a Command A to select all. So a quick Return and then Command A will select the entire file name. But that's not the only way to rename files. In fact, you can rename files while you have an app open. For instance, I've got this document here open in Pages. I can actually rename it while I'm working on it. Years ago, you would expect to have to save the file, close it, rename it in the Finder, and then open it again. But now you can actually do it while you're right in the middle of working on the file. So in Pages here, for instance, you can go to File and there's Rename. And notice when you do that, it will select the name at the top in the title of the window. And you could type a new name and hit Return. But you could also simply click the title like that and it'll bring up a little dialog box here that allows you to rename the file. You could even move the file to a new location while you have it open. It's perfectly okay to do those things while you're actually working on the file in an app. Now there are a few other ways to rename files that you should know about. One, of course, is to bring up the context menu. So you can control click, right click on a mouse, or 2-finger click on a trackpad to select the context menu. And there's a rename option right there. Another thing you do is you can batch rename files. Rename multiple files at the same time. So let's go down to this reports folder and I've got 3 files there. I can select all 3 of them by dragging around them, or I can command click to select each one, and then I can go to File, Rename, and notice there are now 3 dots, meaning it's going to bring up a dialog for further instruction. Now you can see I could use various rename options like replacing text, adding text, or formatting, like for instance adding a date or a number, and I can rename all of these files at once. There are a lot of different options to choose from. All of these options are available no matter which mode you're using in the Finder. So if I go to List View, I could still select a file, press Return and rename. I can still bring up the context menu and select Rename, or select several files and batch rename. And the same is true in Column View and even in Gallery View. Even though you don't see the name there below, if I were to hit Return, you can see I could rename the file here in the information area on the right side of the window. Also note that all normal text functions work when you're renaming a file. So for instance I can select this file here, press Return, and now I can use Command X to cut, Command V to paste. I can hold down a key to bring up special characters, or even Control Command Space to bring up emoji and special characters and add one in there for the file name too. So those are the basics for renaming files on your Mac. Even though it's pretty simple, it's one of the most searched for questions online. So I hope this helps.
Pretty good stuff. I actually learned from Gary a while ago. He had this feature in one of his videos about hitting return when you're typing. So I used to wiggle the mouse and try to click on the name to get out of this. Hit return. It saves me a ton of time.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I have I guess I'm just being dense at the end of a long day, but he showed where he changed the names, renamed 3 files.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You don't want them all the same name, do you?
No. So I do this in Bridge, Adobe Bridge. So I have a folder full of 200 pictures that I took, and Adobe names them image 1003, 1004. It means nothing to me. So I do select all, rename, text, put the text I want in, and then the second criteria is add a sequence number 1 through 200. And boom, you get, today's Christmas 001, Christmas 02 in the whole folder. So then it means something.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
John,
You
could
want to
you,
sequence. You're not going to name them the same. You can't name the same file, multiple files in the same folder, the same name. It won't allow you to do that.
Say, John, why don't you do that and screen share and show him
How to do that in Bridge?
No, how to do it in Finder.
Chris can probably do that. I don't do it in the Finder, so I'm not.
All right.
Easy, just do it. Just click. Okay.
You want me to demonstrate then?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to demonstrate.
I'm sure you can do a similar kind of thing, right? Make a new folder, and then in that folder, make a bunch of new folders, and then you.
Well, I need to file.
Yeah, do new folder, do new, and make a bunch of new folders, and then rename those. Yeah, just keep doing that. Command new, command new, command new.
01. So what? Duplicate? Well, that's gonna be.
Just make a bunch of new folders, and you'll number them untitled 1, 2, 3, 4.
Duplicate.
Just go command new, command new, command new.
Yeah. So there you go.
All
So
right.
you want to name those something that makes sense.
Okay.
All right, let me just do 3.
Select them all.
Right, so select them all, right? And then I'm going to say rename 4 items. Can you see rename?
Got it.
Right, so now I want to rename the test to something else. So instead of test, I'm going to say change test to DVMUG like that. And watch what happens when I click rename. See, it changed all the DVMUGs to test, right?
Can you do a sequence
Yes,
number?
you can do a sequence too.
I can get rid of where it says copy. I don't want that word copy in there.
Place with nothing.
I'll replace it with nothing. I'll just delete that and just say rename. Now this might fail because then the first one will be a duplicate.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Ooh.
One has a space behind it, so it was allowed.
Yeah, what's the ones that has a space, right? So let me just rename that to 1. And then this one I'm just going to rename to...
So does it have the automatic to make a sequence number on
Yes,
them?
it does. Yes, it does.
Right, I'm on High Sierra here, so bear with me. Place text.
Yeah. You see format.
There you go. Format. Name and index. Format file 1. Start number 1.
Yeah, sequence number. There you go. That's what I find useful.
Right. So rename. So there you go. File 1, 2, 3. So it automatically changed all those folders.
Yeah.
I could say rename and then change the file to DVMUG file space, and then I'll prefix it with 0. So let's see how that looks. There you go. DVMUG file.
That's what you want.
Got it.
Very powerful. Use it all the time. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize actually it did all that other stuff, all the sequencing, which is like, wow, okay, that's even better.
Yeah.
So I learned something today. That's great.
And I assume that if you don't like the results, you can do Command Z and go back to the way they were.
Yeah, if I do Command Z now, see, it changed them back.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect. Great, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very powerful, and I use it all the time.
And it started in High Sierra.
It's Sierra very soon, if not High Sierra, then Sierra. But it was a very recent change, and when it came out, I'm like, ooh, this I use. Because otherwise, I used to use Better File Rename, but Better File Rename, but it does the job. I'm not sure if I got it. Yeah, I got it right here. This does the job, but it's a lot more complicated. And I could.
Yeah, this is much more sophisticated.
I can never quite figure out how to do stuff in here. You
yeah,
know?
I've tried this before too, and it's way too many options.
Yeah, it's too complicated and stuff. You got all these different categories of renaming files. Look at that. You're like, what?
Yeah, you could do serious stuff in here, but you could also mess things up.
Crazy stuff in here, but you know.
The program that I liked that did that was called Name Mangler, and it was easier to picture what you were getting, and it also showed you what files you were choosing and what they were named now and what they're going to be named after your modification before you do anything.
That's what Bridge does. It shows you the current file name and then the what it's going to be changed to before you hit the button.
Right.
There's a preview.
Better File Rename, but we'll show you how the files will look after the rename, yeah, as well.
Do you know of one that also will rename the date? That will alter the dates?
You can read it. There's a companion program called Better Finder Attributes where you could change the file type or that kind of thing, or the date modified. You wanted the date modified to be, the date created to be something different because it's like not the right date in the whole folder or something like that.
Huh, interesting. A Better Finder Attributes. Okay, that's cool.
Right.
I didn't know about that.
That could be useful. I'm thinking about trying to do this with, so if you take a bunch of photos and you edit them and they end up with the wrong, more modern date, but really they were from 20 years ago, you could remove the date back on the whole folder, every item in the folder, something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's way more features. I mean, that's pretty serious though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, see, you could see all the different criteria that they could modify date, creation date, file, finder attributes, all kinds of things.
And it looks like it can update the EXIF data on
Exactly. For
stuff.
photos, you're gonna
Yeah.
all the stuff that's saved in there, you can mangle that to your
Exactly.
heart's content.
Or hide it even, probably delete it, I'm guessing. If it's got your name on
You
these
can
images,
delete it if you
wanna
don't
get
want the
rid of it.
location in the files. You're gonna send the files to somebody you don't know where they were taken. You could take that out.
Yeah. See, there goes EXIF
That kind of
timestamps.
stuff.
Nice.
Right, stuff you normally can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you'd have to really pay attention to get this to do the right thing here. I haven't gone into this to try to figure it out.
What are you in? How did you get here?
This is the web page. He Googled
This is
it.
web page. I just Googled the app and then went there. So is publicspace.net a better file attributes? If you just search for better file attributes, which is what I did.
Right.
I'm just in Firefox.
I think this has been around for a long time.
Right.
This is mainly for tweaking photo data, I think. All righty.
Cool. I'll stop sharing my screen.
You can do a lot of this kind of stuff in Bridge, and Bridge is free because it's meant for manipulating photos.
What is Bridge? Is that part of the Adobe?
It's part of the Adobe Cloud, but it's free.
I couldn't find the free way. I downloaded, I tried, and it kept saying, you know, trial period, whatever.
Well, you have to make you have to make a free Adobe Cloud account.
I have one.
Well, then it should, if you have Creative Cloud, you have some Adobe
No,
products?
I have an old obsolete version of it, of Creative Cloud. And I used to have Bridge.
So you have a Creative Cloud account then.
Yeah.
So log into your account and go and find Bridge. It's free.
Okay, I'll try again.
But it used to be you could download and use it, but now you actually have to be logged into your Creative Cloud account to launch it the first time. And so it's authorized, even though it's free. Then you don't have to have Creative Cloud running anymore. But you do if you want to. It updates through the Creative Cloud account because there's an update every year, and maybe in between too. I don't know.
I'll try again.
To me, I've updated it over the years. I've had it, and it never looks any different to me. So I don't know that it gets new features. It probably just supports newer camera formats for, you know, different. All the cameras that shoot RAW have a different format. Adobe also has a piece of software called Adobe DNG Converter. So my camera actually, when I take RAW, it can't open it in the old version of Photoshop because it doesn't understand it. But Adobe has this free thing called Adobe DNG Converter. That's Adobe's default RAW format, and it converts all these different camera formats to Adobe's default format, so it can be opened in a Photoshop and other programs that don't support their file format. That's only if you shoot RAW. If you don't, then it doesn't make any difference. Okay. What do we got? We still got 37 people in here. We probably got plenty of time for more questions. Anybody got something that we didn't talk about, or?
I asked a question.
Go ahead.
I asked a question.
Okay. So there's this is not a question, but it's a comment. So there's this great app called, probably a lot of you have Camera Plus, the Camera Plus app. It's been out for a long time on iOS. And they have a new version called Camera Plus 2. I think it's $5. It's pretty cheap. And it adds a lot of cool features that you can use for shooting photos. But one of the best ones is you can shoot in RAW format, and you don't need a lot of space on your phone because it uploads, as you take pictures, it uploads them to their cloud temporarily so that you can edit the RAW file. And when you are finished editing it, it can then download the non-RAW version. It's pretty cool.
Jennifer wants to know how to set a bright highlight color. I think just in general settings, you should see the choices, and if you pick it, it should work. That should be pretty straightforward.
Got pretty pale because I just saw Chris's, and I've been getting these pale highlights, and my eyesight isn't that good. I can't even see what I've highlighted.
Well, in system preferences under general, you
Yeah.
see the color, right? You should just be able to pick a different one. You can't?
They're pale.
I know, but just you can just change it, right? You should be able to.
I have to
Share screen.
unmute myself.
You're unmuted. I can hear you.
Well, I just did it.
System preferences.
Uh-huh.
General.
General. Let me see.
Highlight color. You can choose anything. Oh, they're all pale there. Okay. Because you're in Big Sur, huh?
Mine's set to green at the moment.
Yeah, Big Sur is different. It wants to be color coordinated with the ugly Big Sur color palette.
I cannot see any of those highlights.
What about if you go into
other?
Oh, yippee.
Yeah, you can pick one of your hearts. You can make it as ugly as you want. You pick it to your heart's content. You can make it black, bright yellow, like this. You get other. That's the trick. These colors are the Big Sur palette of ugly colors for the cartoony colors.
Color. I'm just checking it now.
Yeah,
so I go to other.
Yeah, pick other, and you can do whatever you want. Standard. That's a standard color picker. You can drag it around.
I have
different.
How do I make it lighter? Because that's such a dark.
Well, that's lighter and darker.
John, choose a different type of color picker that's not like that.
I got it.
Huh?
Choose a different color picker at the top, on the tab bar.
Yeah, you can choose all kinds of different color pickers.
Okay, I got blue now.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, good.
There you can just pick a straightforward color like pencil color, red.
I got blue. Thank you very much.
This is a standard color picker like in Photoshop. There's many choices you can knock yourself out.
Okay.
Other. I don't want mine to be other. What was mine?
Sorry.
I don't remember, but now it's blue.
Okay.
Okay. Stop
Well,
screen share.
Probably copied me.
Okay. Jan wants to know.
There's also options, under accessibility, there's also options to help out with low visibility, like increased contrast.
Okay, so Jan says, I've been receiving photos that say HIEC, not JPEG, and cannot import them into my photo library. If you have a modern Mac OS, it should do that. If you don't, if it's older OS, then that's Apple's new file format for the camera. You can change that in the camera so it doesn't do that, but what version of Mac OS are you using?
I have no idea.
Go to the Apple menu and do About This Mac. Mac OS what?
No, that's not right. Where do I find that?
What is it?
It says Mac OS Catalina version 10.
Catalina, the Photos app in Catalina should absolutely read these files. I don't know why you're having a problem.
I think I might actually be Safari because you redid my computer, John, last year.
Yeah, but you're trying to import these into the Photos app? Into your photo library?
They won't do it.
I have no idea. That Catalina should absolutely read those files.
Where are you getting them from? Those files?
Yeah, where are you getting these files?
I'm getting them from friends of Christmas pictures and that type of thing.
Oh, I don't know what they're doing then.
I just found a website called HEIC2JPEG, one word.
Yeah, there's converters.
Where you can convert them online.
iMazing has some software that'll do that. Just go to iMazing's website.
I would think Catalina Photos should read those, right? That's the native format of iOS 14, I think.
Well, there's a setting in there for HEIC.
Yeah, for shooting them, you can change them to not shoot those on your phone, but the Photos app in Catalina should absolutely read those files. I don't know why it's not. Maybe it's better being shot on Android phones, and Android phones are shooting at different versions of this.
Actually, these people I know, she works for Apple, so it definitely is an Apple product.
I would ask her. She works for Apple. Why can't I open these in Catalina? She'll probably change what she's doing. That doesn't make any sense.
I just changed my setting to most compatible.
Site.
Phone.
Pardon me?
I just changed my phone setting to most compatible. Then they come down as JPEGs when you shoot them.
Yeah, but I can't imagine that Photos app and Catalina should absolutely read those if she's on an Apple iPhone. There's no reason for that not to work.
Okay. All right, I'll check with her.
Ask her why it doesn't work.
What happens? You do have problems if you want to send the photo to someone else.
Pardon me?
You do have the problem of sending a photo to somebody else, say that's on Windows, and they can't read the
And if she sends them to you in email, can you just double click them and open them in preview?
I don't think I think she sent them to me on my phone. And what I tried to do is move it over to my computer and then put it into my library.
Can you view them in the email on the phone? Do they show up as, and you can?
Mm-hmm. But they won't let me download them they won't let me send them over to my computer and then put them in my library.
What happens when you try?
Nothing. I try and drag them and put them into there over and over, and nothing happens. They won't go in.
Wait a minute. Where are you dragging them from?
I'm dragging them from my mail to my photo library.
So in Apple Mail, you can see them in Mail, right?
I can see them in my mail.
So the way you get them from Mail into Photos is up near the top. I'll actually show you this. It's non-intuitive. Okay, so I'm going to share I'm going to share my screen and open up Photos. That's Chrome. That's not Photos. Excuse me. Photos. So if you don't even have to have Photos open. So in Mail, you don't see this by default. When you have something with an image, here's all right. So here's an image right here. I can tell because there's attachments. Okay.
Okay.
I open this up. This is a screenshot somebody sent me. Here it is here.
Okay.
You don't see this until watch what happens when I get my mouse up. Oh, see that pop up? I get up near the top of the message. See this? You say export to Photos. That's the way you do it.
Export to Photos.
Should work.
Okay. I'll try that.
This is not there until you get your mouse up near here, and then it shows up. So that should send them to Photos. I say export to Photos. It will open Photos, and it will put them in there. All right, here they come. Boom, 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 boom. There they go. That should work.
All right. I'll try that, and I'll be back.
The dragging thing, I don't think actually works.
Does anybody have any high efficiency images in Mail that they can try this on?
Right. Somebody could take one and send it to me. Let's see if you can actually drag these. I'm not sure you can drag from here to Photos, can you?
That's what I tried to do. That's how I usually do it.
So what you're doing is taking this and dragging it over here? No, it says plus. It says plus like it's going to do it.
I'm taking it from my incoming mail that they sent me a picture.
Well, that's what this is. This is a screenshot picture in my incoming mail.
And then I try and drag it.
And you're doing drag. You're doing this, and it says plus, and it says it's going to do it, and it did it. So that part of it should work. I think it's the image format that's not working.
Yeah.
I sent you an image, John. See if that works.
Do what?
I sent you an image. I emailed you an image.
Do what to an image?
I emailed you an image. You
Oh,
asked
you
for an
emailed me
image.
one. Oh, you shot one. Okay. Okay, so mail. No, that's not mail. Okay, I got incoming. Oh, Dawn sent me one too. Yay. Okay, all right. So it's 2 pictures. There's one here. Now this is Big Sur, but Catalina, I would think, should do the same thing. So you want to drag this over into photos. Drag this. And it doesn't seem to be draggable. You see that? It doesn't want to do it. I'm dragging, it ain't working.
Resize your window.
Let's see if I get up near here. There's that. I say export to photos. Aha, that does work. So dragging doesn't work for that type of file format, apparently.
Okay, then I'll
Right?
try that other.
I don't know why, but it doesn't.
Well,
I'm grabbing the image.
Wasn't that a
Okay.
JPEG?
Oh, it's harder to drag. Maybe you just need to hold on to it. See, I got to press and hold. See, okay, until it's fully highlighted. It takes a while to do that. I'm pressing on it, I'm clicking on it, and it ain't working. Just to click on it, I have to press and hold, and then it's highlighted, and then it's draggable. Well, I'm dragging. There you go. It's slow. It's slow.
Drag
You
it
got to
to
be
the photos
patient.
icon on the dock.
Drag it onto photos on the dock.
Yeah, it should work.
I think this way is better. The import is better. Okay, take this. See, I got it selected and I'm dragging and it takes a long time. Then it goes to there, and okay, it says it already exists. So it does work. I would say.
But that's not. That's not a high end. That's just the JPEG picture file you got there.
No, I think I sent him a HVEC.
Well, it's saying JPEG.
No, that one's a JPEG.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's funny. I emailed you.
They're both JPEG. So when mail sends them,
I think when it emails it converts it. Yeah.
It's converted. So what she's sending you doesn't work. The mail program is supposed to convert it automatically, I believe. That's the problem.
Okay.
But I wouldn't think that. I still think Apple Photos should read that file format.
Nice photo, Don. Is that your house?
No, it's across the street from mine.
So there's probably some way. Did you send these from your phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
And your phone's set to shoot that file format.
No, it's
mine
HVEC.
is.
Well, maybe it probably converts it automatically, but I bet you there's a way to say don't convert it and send the original.
I sent the picture as actual image. You know, when you do the send, it says, do you want small, medium, or large, or actual size? And I said actual size.
But yours was that new file format?
Yeah, I click on it and it's got that. It had that dot on it.
Could there be a setting in mail for most compatible?
Could be.
Got me. It's converting it. Obviously, it's converting it. Maybe you have to. I don't know how you send it as original.
So the thing with HEIC format is it's much more compact than JPEG. It compacts it a lot to about half the size of a JPEG.
I could imagine this wouldn't work if you had like High Sierra version of photos, but Catalina should absolutely read that file format. I'm surprised since she sent it to you from an Apple phone that it isn't converting it. So somehow she knows how to send it. That's the original.
Yeah, it's weird.
So look at Chris's. It's not a small file. Chris's is 4 megs.
Yeah, because I sent you the actual size, you know.
And Dawn probably downsized.
Yeah, he probably sent.
Yeah, I think I went with large.
Yeah, he went with large. I went with actual.
Look at you guys look and see if there's a way to somehow send it as the original file format.
I've been looking in settings and I don't see it anywhere.
Yeah, that's weird. Obviously, there's a way to do it because her friend is doing it.
So,
Yeah.
John, it looks like you've been doing some shopping, buddy.
Say again?
Looks like you've been doing some shopping.
Shopping?
Yeah, I see Max Sales, Mono.
Oh yeah, I've been. Yeah, I have a PayPal balance. I've been working on my car too, so I've been buying little stuff.
I was gonna say, Wes, we got an electric fuel.
I've been finding deals. Yeah, deals. I've been most of these are little deals.
I just bought an electric bicycle. It arrives Thursday.
No, these are like 12. That's like a $12 deal. This is like, my PayPal balance. It's like $12. It's like ridiculously cheap. Shipped, delivered. It's ridiculous.
All-purpose fuel pump.
Fuel pump for my Cadillac. It doesn't something. Okay. And they send you, if you buy something, they send you the eBay, then the PayPal receipt, and then the shipping receipt, and if you go down and that's nothing. Here's my PayPal saved box. PayPal saved. That's all my PayPal saved. I don't know how many is there in there. It's going back that goes back to 2006. 861 saved PayPal messages. And there should be eBay saved here somewhere too. Oh, here's eBay saved. All the eBay saved. 680 saved eBay.
I'm sorry for sending the group down this rabbit hole.
Yes, I was gonna say 10G.
That's not counting all the shipped. When they say shipped, I delete all those messages. These are just
okay, we're done.
All right. I'll quit this. This stop share. All right.
You shot worse than a lady.
Been shopping at eBay for a long time. Well, I used to be when people didn't have eBay accounts, I'd buy it. I'm going to work on your computer. Well, I'll buy it and just charge you. It's just easier because they don't have an eBay account. And they don't have a PayPal account. You got to make both of them to buy something little. I said, well, I just buy it. And, it's easier.
Actually, one of my mini nicknames for John is Good Shopper.
Good
shopper. I spend a lot. I don't buy something on impulse. I shop for good deals. You can find lots. If you know how to search right, you can get good deals on anything.
The motto is I want it, I need it, what is it?
Trick is you gotta push the US only button. You don't want to get the stuff from China. It takes 2 weeks.
Bill,
on good day.
Hello?
Yeah, can I return briefly to the magic? Can I return briefly to the magic mouse issue?
Yes.
The problem I have that requires I also have a wired mouse in addition to the magic mouse. I think Ken Marks was talking about it. When you move your finger laterally on the top of the mouse, it's too sensitive. And on things like a calendar, BB Edit, if you move your finger a little bit, it moves the screen left and right. And I don't see any kind of setting to avoid moving your finger left to right on top of the mouse to not scroll.
I don't think there is one. I've looked high and low for one, and there's no setting to turn off the horizontal scroll that I can find.
Can you adjust the sensitivity?
How about swipe between pages?
No, I have that turned off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so other people have experienced the same problem of if I'm on my Google Calendar, it's a real chore to get it positioned on what year, and it's a slight movement and it moves to the next year, and on several programs that happens. So if I have to use it a lot in that mode, I just switch to my wired mouse.
Is there a sensitivity setting?
No, not.
You need a better mouse attributes program.
Yeah, right.
There might be something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no horizontal.
Programs don't work with the Magic Mouse.
Most third-party mice like Logitech have an app control panel that goes in there where you can adjust stuff.
I've been using USB overdrive. I set up the right button as a double click, and it's been pretty stable.
Okay, kids. Next week we have the return of Mike's classes. What's the name? What's his first class going to be? Anybody remember?
I forget, but I remember it looked interesting.
Oh, Surfing with Safari. It's the next one. Next Tuesday at 3.
So here is a solution to your problem on the Magic Mouse. The Magic Mouse is awesome, but some apps are overly sensitive to its horizontal scroll to the point where it's kind of unusable. My latest iteration of the Scroll app aims to solve this problem in a simple way. So Scroll is, I guess, an extension or something.
Oh, okay.
The Smart Scroll, there's MOS. There's several scrolling apps.
So it's called Scroll 2, and it's try free for 7 days, purchase for $7.99.
Hey, Jan says, I tried moving those photos from email to the photo library as you told me with that pop-up hidden menu. And it worked.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Another happy customer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could see I was having a problem dragging it. It was real laggy. Okay. Anybody else got any more questions? We're almost pushing 2 hours, sir.
Yes, where's the eggnog?
We got all the chat questions answered.
What did you say the class was next week?
Surfing with Safari. Safari is the app he'll talk about. Internet using Safari.
Oh, good. We can ask him about the how to copying images in Safari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got an email from him today saying he'd have the outline available. He'd send it to me in a couple of days.
Yeah, as long as it gets here by Sunday for the chimp.
Yeah.
I almost thought about, I forgot. It'd be nice to send it out to the expired people, but we got 3 people. That's 3 people. That was worth doing.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and end the recording.
Okay, we're gonna say record. We're gonna say bye-bye. Say nighty-night, kids.
Bye.
Say bye-bye to all the people on YouTube.
Thanks for coming, folks.
Carol G.